Monday, the 23rd of September 2024. A detailed decision on the case of specific seats continues. The Election Commission's March 1 decision is contrary to the Constitution. A detailed decision of the 8-member large bench was made. This detailed decision was issued to the entire nation under the chairmanship of Mr. Justice Mansoor Ali Shah. According to journalists and sources covering the Supreme Court, the decisions share with you some points. According to the details, the Supreme Court's detailed decision regarding specific seats states that if the constitutional rights of the party were clarified in the case of the badge, there would not have been confusion. The protection of people's constitutional rights is more important than the judicial procedure. To say that no petition from PTI was present before the Supreme Court, not the correct thing. You will remember the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, has joined it through a constitutional request. Barrister Gohar, Chairman Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, has submitted this constitutional petition. The 70-page decision by Justice Mansoor Ali Shah states that the Election Commission is the guarantee of a democratic process in the country and the fourth pillar of the government, but the Election Commission failed to play its role in the Pakistan elections held in February 2024. Serious warning to the Election Commission of the Supreme Court. The decision states that the Election Commission makes many decisions regarding electoral excuses, so it is a semi-judicial forum. If a court is rejected, it cannot file an appeal as an affected party, but this in the case, the Election Commission as the affected party continued to fight its case before the court. According to the Supreme Court decision, the Electoral Roll 94 contradicts the Constitution and the Election Act 2017. The allotment of specific seats under Rule 94 is related to the procedure. The electoral rolls can be made according to the Election Act. Such a thing in the election rolls can't include which is not present in the Election Act. Roll 94's explanation states that the political party will be considered to be the one who has an election mark. The explanation of Rule 94 contradicts Article 51(6) of the Constitution and Article 106 of the Election Act, if there is no election mark. Not giving specific seats is an additional punishment by the Election Commission. Single quote. According to the verdict, the Peshawar High Court should be sent back to the Election Commission under Articles 218 of the Constitution and Articles 4 and 8 of the Constitution, instead of deciding on a request for specific seats of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI. The decision states that transparent elections are essential for public desire and democracy, that members of the National and Provincial Assembly elected in the controversial seats in Parliament are cancelled from May 6, 2024. The detailed decision states that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is entitled to specific seats in the National Assembly. The decision gives the decision that if the Supreme Court had clarified the constitutional rights of the party in the case of the BAT, there would not have been a confusion. The Commission should have taken into account that the election schedule has been issued. No one can be punished without a clear law. According to the decision, political party officials are elected under Article 208 of the Election Act. Their certificates are submitted under Article 209 of the Election Act. Newly elected officials handle the affairs of the party until the Election Commission elections are approved or not. The decision states that officials are restored by the Election Commission for the intra-party elections. The September 14 descriptive order was issued at the request of the Election Commission, which should be considered part of the decision, explanation of its own decision. It was not necessary to issue a notice to the parties, so Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa asked the registrar 2 days ago to respond to the order. Parliament's legislation is subject to the Constitution, the important decision of the Supreme Court. According to the decision, the laws that reduce or impose the rights provided in the Constitution can only be reviewed by narrow ideology. The minimum interference in individual or collective rights in democracy should be ensured. The punishment for not holding intra-party elections, there is nothing more than withdrawing the mark. Withdrawing the election symbol does not mean that the constitutional rights of the political party are lost. In a detailed verdict, 8 judges of the Supreme Court criticized the remarks of 2 fellow judges for their July 12 decision as unconstitutional, saying that Justice Amin ul-Dain and Justice Naeem Akhtar Afghan were the Supreme Court judges. The position is, the more disturbing thing is that the 2 judges have gone united in their opinion. They told the Election Commission that the majority of the 8 judges should not accept the decision. Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa raises important questions on the explanation of majority judges related to specific seats. The detailed decision states that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is a political party. The Peshawar High Court's decision is invalid. There is no legal status for the Election Commission's March 1 decision. Given. The July 12 decision was criticized for how relief can be given to the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI), which was not only applicant in the Supreme Court of Pakistan, but the detailed verdict stated that in this case, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) has filed a petition to be a party. The issue of specific seats, the Election Commission denies reports of the Supreme Court. This type of application is first filed as usual and the decision is made to become a party first. But this is not a common case, but a very important case for the Constitution, basic rights and selecting people's own rulers, who make legislation for them and run state management. Single quote. The decision states that the most important task for the PTI, the Sunni Unity Council or any other political party, the Supreme Court, is to protect the right of the people under Article 2, 17 and 19, so in this argument. There is no weight that the Supreme Court gave him relief before the decision on a petition to be a party of PTI beyond the prevailing legal procedure. Specific seats cannot be given without demand, the Election Act Amendment Bill presents in the National Assembly. The Supreme Court has termed the PTI Women's Wing President's request for Kanwal Shuzab unnecessary, saying that the Supreme Court had to decide which political party could get how many seats could be received by the political parties. The nominees do not have an individual right. The Supreme Court, in its decision, ordered the majority of seats to be issued in Urdu language, saying that Urdu translation should be uploaded to the website as part of the case record. As well as in Pakistani politics next week, will be very important in Pakistani politics. Very important next week for Chief Justice Faiz Issa. Lieutenant General Muhammad Asim Malik has been posted as Director General of Inter-Services Intelligence (DG). Lieutenant General Asim Malik will take over his new responsibility on September 30. He is current QIM performing the duties of the Adjutant General. Lieutenant General Asim Malik has already commanded the Infantry Division in Baluchistan and the Infantry Brigade in Waziristan, while he has also won honorary Shamshir in his course. In addition, Lieutenant General Asim Malik has also been posted as Chief Instructor NDU and Instructor Command and Staff College Quetta. Lieutenant General Asim Malik is also a graduate of Fort Leavenworth and the Royal College of Defense Studies. It may be recalled that the current DGISI Lieutenant General Nadim Anyam was posted on October 6, 2021. Lieutenant General Nadim Anyam, Corps Commander Karachi, who received the commission in 1988, has also been a commander of the Karam Agency, as well as the Frontier Corps FC in Baluchistan. He has also been the commander of the Quetta Command and Staff College before becoming the Corps Commander Karachi in December 2020. His appointment as a DGISI came after a 3-week alleged interruption between the government and the military leadership. It is to be remembered that former Director General (DG) Inter-Services Intelligence Lieutenant General retired Faiz Hamid was appointed as Lieutenant General Nadim Anyam after the Corps Commander Peshawar was appointed as the new ISI chief. However, the formal notification of the appointment of Lieutenant General Nadim Anyam by the Prime Minister's office was not issued due to tensions between the civil and military leadership. According to defense experts, the appointment of DGISI is neither listed in the Constitution nor in the Army Act, and all previous appointments were made in accordance with the traditions, under which the Army Chief suggested 3 names to the Prime Minister. There are those who make the final decision again. According to news sources, some details. Israel launched another major attack on the Ummah, which he was preparing for too late. Israel and the international establishment and the U.S. establishment of Trump want to do something that a major war begins in the Middle East before the U.S. election and then achieve their goals in the region. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh has changed governments in Pakistan, Iran, as well as Israel, and Israel want to abolish the current government in Afghanistan and bring back its puppet government so that China's CPAC trade route will be completely eliminated. The beast should be done like Iraq. The rest of the Arab countries and Israel have already pressed under their boot. Pakistan has been destroyed economically, politically and externally under the London Plan for the last 28 months. Israel wants to follow its Greater Israel Plan. Iran and Pakistan are afraid of two countries. It wants to destroy it completely, and India wants to make the international establishment and Israeli-European countries a mini superpower country that Israel is doing in Gaza. Tush also brought Lebanon to the target. Israel has opened a new front war in Lebanon after Gaza, and on Monday, Israel targeted the southern civilian population to shoot Iran-backed Lebanese organization Hezbollah weapons reserves, resulting in 35 children and 58 at least 492 people, including women, were martyred and more than 1,600 were injured. According to news agencies Reuters and AFP, after a year of brutality in Gaza, Israel has turned its attention to Hezbollah, where formal attacks have been launched after the Pagar and Waqi talks. After the recent worst border clashes and shootings between Hezbollah and Israel, Israel ordered the Lebanese people to evacuate the area, saying that Hezbollah had stored its weapons there. Israel has opened a new front war in Lebanon after Gaza, and on Monday, Israel targeted the southern civilian population to shoot Iran-backed Lebanese organization Hezbollah weapons reserves, resulting in 35 children and 58 at least 492 people, including women, were martyred and more than 1,600 were injured. According to news agencies Reuters and AFP, after a year of brutality in Gaza, Israel has turned its attention to Hezbollah, where formal attacks have been launched after the Pagar and Waqi talks. After the recent worst border clashes and 6 shootings between Hezbollah and Israel, Israel ordered the Lebanese people to evacuate the area, saying that Hezbollah had stored its weapons there. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant pointed out the attack in a video statement, saying that the operations would continue until we achieve our goal of sending the North to their homes safely. He said that during those days the Israeli people would have to show patience. Israel claims to target Hezbollah bases and weapons in the northern part of Lebanon's southeast and Syria, but most of the attacks have been martyred by civilians. According to the Lebanese Ministry of Health, on Monday, Israeli enemies targeted the southern regions and villages, killing at least 492 people, including 35 children and 58 women, and injuring more than 1,645 people. Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagri said in a statement that more than 1,300 Hezbollah targets have been targeted in the past 24 hours, and we have already issued a warning that airstrikes will be carried out in Lebanon Hezbollah has hidden weapons. In response to the operation, Hezbollah said it had fired rockets at Israeli military posts, while further attacks on each other were expected by both sides. Former President of Pakistan Dr. Arif Alvi message on social media X. It was indeed a pleasure to interact with the citizens of Pakistan.
ये मोहब्बतों का रिश्ता है, अल्लाह इसमें मज़ीद बरकत डाले, आमीन.
The stats on this session as to how many people attended, and how many more, actually in hundreds of thousands interacted in all forums are still to come. It is remarkable that virtual jalsas like this have overcome the bans on Twitter and arrests torture of our social media volunteers. The intelligent people of Pakistan can easily discern truth from falsehood and are not slaves to coerced press and television. New information technologies are disruptive and will hit Stone Age methods hard enough to force them out of existence, like the horse-drawn cart was no match for automobiles. PTI is a healthy juggernaut that will bulldoze fossilized into oblivion. 35,000 people joined Dr. Arif Ali on X platform Space. As if Salim YouTube channel.